welcome everyone to Blind Table Talk podcast. This is our Bring It to the Table segment, and I am Sayyida Victoria, and we also are joined by my co-host.
I am Fleeks. Welcome everybody to the table. Thank y'all for coming through.
And tonight we're going to do things a little bit different. We actually have on our table with us our BTT squad, which is our panel. We will give them the opportunity to introduce themselves in just a second, but we wanted to kind of explain our topic and what we're going to be talking about tonight in honor of White Cane Day or White Cane Safety Day, either one. I believe it's October 15th officially, but it's celebrated all week long through many different places and areas, and just bringing awareness to the white cane. And we thought it'd be a good idea to just kind of open it up to the table to kind of share their experiences. And also, most importantly for me, personally, is white cane shame. And if you guys have experienced that, which I have personally, Yes. So I wanted to share those stories with us and just kind of, you never know who we could help. Because there's somebody out there right now that's either newly blind or, born blind, either one, that is ashamed of that cane. And maybe we can give some positive inspiration to help somebody, recognize the importance and to be proud of their cane and not ashamed of it. So, all right. So who do we have on stage with us? And from what I have first and foremost, let's go, John Lee. Welcome to the table, Mr. Lee.
Hey, how are you tonight?
Doing good.
Wow.
Doing good. Do you want to just give us a little background about your visual impairment and
the intro of yourself, my man.
Intro, yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm John Lee. I've been blind since 2.5, which makes it 52.5 years. And did a lot of mobility early. I'm probably not the mobility guru I used to be, but I did a lot of traveling early with the white cane and a guide dog for a portion in Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., and North Carolina.
Thank you so much, and welcome.
Some variety.
Yes. Okay, and how about Brea? We have Brea next. Welcome to the table, Brea.
Hello. So I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And that is all.
Awesome. Thank you, Brea. Next we have Randy. Welcome to the table, Randy.
Hi, I'm Randy Beeler. I'm 51 years old and I've been visually impaired since birth. But I actually, growing up, I had quite a bit of functional vision. I didn't really use any sort of mobility skills or devices, including a cane, up until I became totally blind in 2017. So I've been totally blind for 5 years. I had a second retinal detachment, and I only ever had one eye that worked, so that was the end of that. But I didn't begin using a cane until 2019. And so that's kind of so I have a short history of cane use. I was born in Connecticut. I grew up in Connecticut, but now living in Florida. So my mobility stuff has pretty much only happened down in Daytona Beach.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And last but not least, we have Talana. Welcome to the table, Talana.
Good evening. My name is Talana Townsend. I'm from the great big state of Texas. I am 41 years of age. I lost my vision at the tender age of 28 when I was in the prime of my life due to diabetic retinopathy. And that's about it.
Thank you. So that's, everybody, is our BTT panel, aka our BTT squad. If one of you would like to start off and tell us, well, for one, I want to know if you believe that there is a such thing as white cane shame. if you've experienced it or know of anybody that's experienced it. Does any of you want to take that on, the white cane shame?
Yeah. So are you asking if we're ashamed of having a cane or if other people have made us feel?
That's a good, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's exactly, so when we say white cane shame, for me, my first thing was that I was ashamed of my cane at one time. But then as we talked about it and discussed it more, I realized I had family members that were ashamed of me having my cane. So I would like for you to share whichever story, whichever you would like to share, if it's one or the other or both, because it's all out there.
Yeah. So I think growing up, we're all kind of experienced that white cane shame. So if we are somewhere in a social setting, I tend to fold it up and hide it, right? Because I want to just have that conversation with people without needing to draw attention. What do you use that stick for, and that kind of stuff. So I try really hard to hide that. As I became more comfortable with my cane, the more successful, right? But then when I had kids, the more I felt bad about my cane again.
That's what I was talking about too, Brea, because that's when they were the ones that were embarrassed of the cane.
Right.
I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
where are you at now with it?
Now I feel like I need to get back to using it because I currently have a guide. And that is also a tool that I tend to hide.
Great. And you're total, right? Because if you're hiding both of them, you're kind of screwed, right?
Listen, I know how to hide my dog. I went to a conference and no one knew I had a dog for almost a week.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, you might need to share those tips. But I get it though. It's a little bit more difficult to hide a dog, but you seem to have made it happen. So
I did.
I didn't realize, we say white cane shame. I know that's not about guide dogs, but I didn't realize that there was shame in guide dogs as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's, like my kids don't want me to bring my guide to anywhere because they don't like the idea that I have to correct my dog if my dog decides to sniff people or,
Yes, right, yeah.
So,
yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Freya. Randy, do you want to take on this white cane shame game?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. My experience is a little different only because I didn't have the cane until relatively recently. And, growing up, I was visually impaired, but I really went out of my way to not draw attention to myself and to my visual impairment. I basically, I tried to quote unquote pass as sighted, like as much as possible. And, it was just kind of like, well, I have these glasses and they're really thick. Don't look at them. But, I'm just like you guys. And so I didn't want to use any other aids or anything like that as far as like low vision aids and that type of thing. But once I got to the point where I needed the cane, I really didn't have those thoughts. I was kind of, well, at this point, I'm totally blind. I can't hide it anymore. And so it was more like, for me, it was just, this is my cane and here it is. And so I really never had that negative feeling about my cane that I know some people do. And I know, a lot of people have had experiences with, their kids, like Brea was saying, that, not wanting to, not wanting the cane to be out and on display and stuff like that. And luckily I didn't deal with that. My daughter was 16 by the time I lost my vision, and she was 18 by the time I started taking up the cane. And I've been lucky because I know a lot of people have had negative experiences with, family members and, where the people that they are out with, being ashamed of their cane and wanting the cane, you're just embarrassed of your whole situation and stuff like that. And I didn't have that experience. I actually, I never really had the cane shame necessarily. It was more, when I was low vision, I was more, embarrassed by myself than I am now, which seems maybe a little bit, backwards, but it's true. But what I was surprised about is, Brea, to hear you say about your guide dog, and only because to me, like the cane versus the guide dog, people love guide dogs. You know what I mean? The cane is just like, oh, look at, he's got that cane. And I feel like people see us with our cane and they want to pity us. But when they see the guide dog, because people love dogs, you know what I mean? So they see a guide dog and it's like, oh, look at the dog. He's so pretty. And it's more like an opening where people would come and speak to you and say, how do you work with your dog? And people are curious about the guide dog, and, sighted people. I mean, to me, my experience is that sighted people are very positive about guide dogs. And when I went blind, all my friends were like, are you going to get a guide dog? And, there's a very positive image of a guide dog, I think, compared to the cane. And I don't know if other people feel that way as well, but I definitely do. And people I talk to do. And so I was surprised to hear Brea say that she felt like she had to hide her guide as well, because I feel like most people are kind of proud of their guide dog. So I'm curious if other people feel that way about the dog compared to the cane.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing. And you know what, Randy, you brought up another good point too, because you said there was like you were more comfortable or confident when you became totally blind versus when you were visually impaired.
Yes.
And I don't know, I feel like maybe that could be something like when you have some sight versus not sight, you're kind of in limbo, right? It's like you don't force yourself to not see because you still can see some. So that comfort and confidence is not there. But then once you became totally blind, it's like, hey, I got this. Now I know I can do this. You know what I mean? So
it was really important to me to not, be judged and not be, told that I couldn't do things because I was blind. Because to sighted people, if you're anywhere on the visual impairment spectrum, to them, we're all blind.
Yes.
And so, and I really fought against that. All my life I was like, I can't see as well as you do, but what you're not going to do is tell me that I'm blind and that I can't do X, Y, and Z because I can't see, because I actually can see and I'm going to prove it to you. And so it was really important to me to, make my visual impairment as little of an issue as possible. But now that I'm totally blind, it's more like, well, I'm totally blind now. I can't hide it. There's not really,
exactly.
I've had discussions, when you talk about like job training and interviewing and stuff like that, are you going to disclose your visual impairment or not? And I never did when I would go on job interviews. When I
tried to hide it, like
when I had vision. Oh yeah. And there were times that I would go to interviews and the person would just look at me in a certain way. And I was like, okay, I'm not getting this job. This person thinks I can't see and can't do anything.
Right. Yeah.
But now, as a blind person, when I walk into that interview with the cane, I mean, there's no hiding it. You know what I mean? I have to disclose. Yes. And in a lot of ways, it just makes things less complicated. So you're right. It is more of a limbo situation when you're VI. Because when you're total, there's really not, there's no gray area anymore.
There's no gray area at all, right?
Thank you so much, Randy. Who do we have next? Who has not spoken? I believe Talana is next. Talana, is there such thing as cane shame, and have you ever experienced it?
Well. First and foremost, I lost my vision. I started losing my vision in 2009. Well, April 2009. I was totally blind in July of 2009. I had my cane. My first cane was purchased from a cousin that worked in the Lafayette Center for the Blind. And she bought my cane in May of 2009. I did not start using my cane to September 2015. So 6 years.
Yes, I can relate.
That I did not pick up that cane. It stayed in a drawer, up under socks or whatever.
What did you do? How did you get around?
Family members, friends.
Yep. Okay.
Things of that sort. Even with paratransit, I I started my paratransit in 2011. I applied for it and I got it in 2011. I didn't start using it till 2014.
Mm.
So I was ashamed to go out with my cane and because I'm the only person in my family that has a visually impairment.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was new to me, but I was confident, but I was like, I'm not going out with that cane. I'm confident. You can't tell me that. I know I'm blind. I don't care who looks at me. I had that type of attitude, but I wasn't going to be seen with the cane.
Right. Yeah.
So I'd rather just lock up with my brother like we're married and walk around and do things like that, and my nephews. But that was my shame that I guess I had to get grips of it, because when you are in the prime of your life, and I kind of, my vision left me in one day. It started messing with me in one day behind the wheel. So that's a scary thing. So
yes.
My shame was that I didn't pick it up for 6 years until I got tired of people telling me, "Oh, I'm gonna come do it." So I decided to call Metrolift and plan me a trip to Walmart, and I haven't stopped since.
Hello. I know the feeling. It's a whole new world, right? A whole new world. Once you embrace that cane. Oh, yes.
Nobody else. It takes me more time. That's what I tell people that I know and my friends. It might take a little more time for me to do it when I'm used to getting up 30 minutes. Oh, I'm out the door. Right. It might take 2 hours now. I had to get used to riding the paratransit because I wanted to get there when I wanted to get there. But that's a whole nother story. But other than that, the shame, it came in where I didn't pick it up for 6 years.
I get it. Yes. Thank you, Talana, for sharing. And John, you ever experienced white cane shame?
Well, the structure was a lot different, I think, when I was using my cane a long time ago. One of the things is there was an emphasis on you being able to walk around without your cane inside. So we all kind of walked around without our canes on the inside. Now, that gets tricky at work, right? But I did master that at a couple of jobs that I was at. But the cane's an identifier, and as time goes on, you start seeing how valuable that is, and you start not feeling it's the wrong kind of identifier. It's actually the right kind of identifier, so you don't get hit by a car. That's kind of big, right? I remember when I was 8, I got hit by a bus. I got knocked down. I stepped out too early, and I remember not really liking the cane because they told me it was an identifier, but it didn't stop me from getting hit. So I used to tell the mobility teacher for years, I said, well, you say that, but when I got knocked down, I had the cane. Right. So my mom was there as well, and she couldn't stop me, and the cane didn't help me. But when you're little and you're 8, you move around kind of quick. So I learned that later, that it had nothing to do with the cane being an identifier or my mom. It had to do with the kids just run out so fast. You just don't have the reaction time. Right. Yeah. But, I do think you go through a time period. In college, I used the cane a lot. It was such a big school that you had to have that identifier. Right. You're talking 10,000 undergraduates, 20,000 undergraduates. That's a lot of people in one location. In the middle of campus, there's 20,000 people walking around. So you're going to need that as your identifier and as your guide. I also had a guide dog. I never thought of hiding him. That's kind of cool. I used to go to bars. If I had known how to do that, that would have been handy. But, But everyone pet my dog. It helped with dating, so I kind of used it differently. But I did think it was a good thing. So everyone does come to the table differently with mobility and canes, and you have era of travels in this room. I mean, Randy and I are similar ages, but he wasn't blind that long. So so in our era, we really was emphasized about cane travel, and not even dogs as much as canes. Yes. Dogs, of course, came about. I mean, obviously. Absolutely. But the cane was such a big thing. There were straight canes, laser canes, and folding canes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know about the laser cane. So you could use it, and it would tell you if a tree was above you and stuff that was above you, which was kind of neat, but it never did catch on. It cost too much.
I was going to say, do they still have that?
No.
That sounds...
Yeah, it cost a lot. And it never did catch on, but it was
awesome.
a neat idea.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, John, for sharing. Mr. J. Fleeks, have you ever experienced cane shame? And do you think it's real?
Yes. So for me, I actually experienced the trauma issue at the age of 16. I would like to see as the normal thing to say, I was very normal, very active at that age. So going straight from sight to just totally blind, I wasn't even trying to pick up the cane. Like, I didn't even feel the cane was a part of me, and I feel like I didn't need it. So I was walking around for a good little minute without the cane. I have the scars to prove it. I was very hard-headed. So, like,
I can imagine the rebellious teen at that, because you're 16, so there's some rebellion in that too, don't you think?
Yeah, I thought I was too cool for it. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was beneath me. Like, me pick up a cane, not like for what?
Yeah.
Nah. So I definitely experienced that for a good little minute. Going through my early stage of just getting used to my blindness and the whole thing.
So when did you come out of that? Because that was 16. So did it take, are we talking 1 year, 2 years? Are we talking 10 years? Like, when did you finally embrace your cane?
It took almost a year. It really took for me running into this pole at the blind school like this one good time, and it was like this little kid kind of laughed at me, and she was using a cane. And it was just like, all right, like, I'm really out here being silly. I'm really hurting myself. And if a little kid could use that cane and laugh, like, there's really no reason why I should be able to pick up this cane, And shoot, from that day on, like, I really just got into my O&M, started moving around and just started using my cane. Like, I don't know what without my cane.
Awesome. Well, I will tell you, that's almost like a year is not long at all. So that's a quick, acceptance and embracing of your cane. So, well, I will tell you guys, all of your stories sound so similar, because I was ashamed of my cane. I've been blind for 17 years, and I didn't use a cane for 12 years, because I was ashamed. And I can totally identify with what Talana said. I hid it. I wouldn't leave my house without a sighted person to walk me or navigate me and all that stuff. And even I felt like my children, when I would pull my cane out, even the few times that I dared to do it, Mom, you don't need that. Why you with me? Don't worry about your cane. And so I started just feeling even more ashamed or embarrassed by my cane because of their reactions. Now they're 10, 11, 12, and as they get into teenage years, and so I was ashamed. And it was funny because once I first started using the cane, when I got around other people that used the canes, and I'm like, it took me a minute to realize that this white cane is my eyes. This is just like people have eyes, I use this cane like my eyes. And once I actually use it the way I was supposed to use it, I will not go anywhere without it now. And even my kids to this day, they were ashamed of it at one time, but when we were going to, what was it? I don't know what's called here, but we have Magic Mountain. I think it's Six Flags, like the amusement parks. Now it's like, Mom, make sure you bring your cane. So the whole cane thing, that story had switched up because we got the special get to the front of the line and all that stuff. So the cane was convenient for that. But John also made a point that the identifier, once I started carrying my cane, it was almost like I didn't have to explain so much to people like, oh, sorry, I can't see. That's why I'm, doing this or doing that. Cause I had to explain a lot as to why I was staring at people or somebody's waving at me or trying to get me to go to a certain direction. And I'm just standing there looking like I'm stuck on stupid because I didn't have a cane and I don't quote unquote look blind. So yeah, I think we've all experienced the white cane shame at one point in time or another. And did you want to say something?
It's funny to say that we also deal with those friends who have felt the shame of the cane as well. Because I've also experienced that where I've gone out with a friend like, hey, man, it ain't no point in you pulling out that stick, man. Like, just put the stick up, man. Don't worry about it. I got you. And at the earliest stage, I still have my cane with me, but I'll be comfortable. I'll be like, I'll put it up. But now it's like, nah, I'm not about to put my cane up. We gonna rock with it. You know what I mean? So it's funny to hear these similar stories because I once experienced that as well. So yeah, this is good to hear.
Sayyida, when you talk about like not leaving the house without somebody, before you had the cane, like in my case, when I would go anywhere, it would be, in my house, it's my wife and my daughter. And so they're women. I'm a man, obviously. And so we would go out somewhere. And the thing that would keep me from wanting to go anywhere that was going to be more than like a half an hour, like a quick trip out and back, was the bathroom. So like I didn't have the cane. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to have my wife or my daughter take me into a public bathroom. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Like talk about shame. So I was like, well, yeah. I'm going to need to take up this cane because I need to be able to use the bathroom. Now, if I have a cane, then I can go into the men's room and find where I need to go and do what I got to do. Right. But without that, like, what am I going to do? And, with my family, it's, it's women. So, if I don't have that cane, I can't go anywhere because, and literally I would not go places. If we were going to be out more than like 2 hours, I'd be like, well, I can't go because what if I have to use the bathroom?
The bathroom.
And it was just a really limiting way to live my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So I had to take up that cane.
That is exactly right. That's what I say, the beauty of that, embracing that cane.
So here's something that my lady told me I never knew. So people observe you, right? Mm-hmm. As you walk around. And she said, when you have your cane, you look 1,000 times more confident when you're walking. Mm. And that's everybody. She said, I watch people walk with their cane because she would pick me up from one of the industries for the blind. Mm-hmm. And she said, you watch the people that come out, if they don't have a cane, they're more hesitant, slower walking. Said, but when you have your cane, especially a good trained traveler, she said, they look just like we do walking.
Yeah.
I can totally see that though. Can't you? I even with myself, I notice if I don't have my cane, I look like that poor little blind girl that can't go nowhere.
I'm hesitant because I'm trying to find my way.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk into nothing.
Right. I'm nervous.
Hit your face on something.
That's what they call it, the blind shuffle. When you take the little baby steps.
Right. Yeah, you're walking like you
don't want to walk
like you're a newborn.
Scoot. Okay. I'm saying scoot.
That is so true, you guys.
That's the funniest thing.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people watch that, but you'd be shocked. She was telling me just how many blind people, before she ever met me, she said you could see the people that were real confident. They walking around, they cross the street, they doing their thing. Mm-hmm. And you can pick up on that. The cane is a good tool to kind of define you from others.
Cane and guide dog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but for mine, it's not necessarily shame. Mm-hmm. So when I'm hiding or pushing my dog away from view, it's not from shame. It's from keeping a conversation focused on my dog. And not me.
Right, because the dog becomes the center of
Many times. I mean, I've used it for advantage, but I've also felt that I wish I could hide the dog more.
Yeah. You're trying to date the dog, bro.
That's a good point with the dogs. That's true.
Yes,
exactly.
We'll make it about the point of the conversation. I agree.
They forget about you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and this is a conversation I have with my coworkers as well. I would be like, listen, I'm always going to be attached to my dog. Always. But please say hi to me first.
Man.
Hey, Chloe, how you doing?
they asking, hey, where's the dog at? How's
Right.
They even say,
Not how are you?
doing?
How you
know,
feeling?
good morning to you.
Right.
I mean, you seem like you have a fever, but other than that, hey, what's up with the dog?
But you guys, the thing about the dogs though, and I know you guys, because a lot of people when you're just out in public, they want to, oh, how cute the dog, let me cut him and pet. You know, that's another thing that you guys have to deal with a lot. Because I know Joseph is like, oh, please don't touch my dog. And it comes off like strong. You're not trying to be mean, but this dog is working and it's not for play. You know, and I think that's another thing that everybody
And also people are scared of dogs, so now you got another whole issue.
That too.
Riding an Uber, riding a Lyft.
People
are scared of dogs, and
that's a whole segment in itself. I'll tell you.
It is, man.
But the cane, I think the cane, it's more, for me, it's social. Right?
Right.
So, you know, if I don't have it in front of me, there won't be an interview.
Yeah, you can put the cane in your purse, too.
Right.
Can't put the dog.
See, that's why I switched the colors for social.
Right.
Because it's like, I figured having multiple colors, like now people are like, oh, look, you got a blue cane. Yeah.
Yes.
This is what this is.
Yeah.
It's matching my outfit. Yeah.
Do you guys notice, like, I do, and Joseph tells me this all the time because sometimes it's habit, but do you guys walk with your head looking down still sometimes? Like, do you default, like, even though I have my cane?
No.
So it's just, is it a new cane user? Like, it's new for me?
That's a conscious thing that my girl talks about too, that when you walk, you walk with your head down, you portray no confidence.
Right.
So
and I don't want to do
that.
that. Yes. And
she talks about that. That's how you can tell some people are blind. Yeah. Because
they're looking right. Because I like to say, oh, I'm confident, I'm all this, but Joseph, and it's so funny because he can't see either, and he's like, put your head up. Why your head down? I'm like, how the hell do you know my head is down? What the hell?
You can sense that.
Yeah.
With someone,
he can with his spidey senses. It's like, you know, but then when I want to prove him wrong and say my head's not down, but I can't because my head is. I am looking down for some reason. So with that confidence.
That's a big thing though, because she talks about that too.
Strong,
they teach you that in mobility.
The blind school,
that's a big.
I had this real hardcore, and I love her to this day. Like she was hard about that. She was like, don't. We can't talk if you looking down, like, because I don't even know who you're talking to. I'm not.
Right, she's like, and what would you be looking at? You're looking at the ground.
I know.
You're supposed to be looking at the traffic.
I know.
Even if you can't see the traffic, act like you're looking.
You don't have to look weird by looking all like you can look like everybody else.
When you lift your head up, you actually hear better.
I do too.
You hear a lot better.
But you know, the trick to it perhaps is sunglasses.
No, but my head still goes down.
Really?
Glasses don't fall off?
It's not my eyes. No, I don't wear glasses, but it's not my eyes looking down for some reason. It's my
your whole head tilted down.
Yes, it's my head tilted down.
Okay.
Like, it's weird.
Yeah, because I notice, like, I'll start looking down more if I'm not wearing my glasses. So if I put my glasses on, then I tend to
fall off.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to look up a little more.
Welcome, Zenny, to the stage.
Zenny, hi, beautiful.
Hey, Zenny.
Hi there.
Pick up your head.
Speak.
Pick your head up. We can't hear you.
Come to us, beautiful. Come to us.
Yes. Do you have a white cane story for us?
So, I actually think there is blind shaming. God, there's cane shaming, but I think it could be a subcategory of like, I think it could be a subcategory of like shame of being blind in some cases, because when I was young, like, I'll give my story since I'm speaking.
Yes, please do.
So when I was young, I've been blind from birth, but I wasn't actually using a cane until I was about almost 13 because, so I had this really crappy cane that was like this like plastic thing that like, it was like a folder, I think they call it a telly cane. I'm not sure what, they call it in other countries, but we called it a telly cane.
Yeah, it was a telescope cane.
Probably. But it was just, I found it really useless, and because I felt like, especially when I was young, like obviously a lot of my, for example, classmates didn't understand, and so like I felt like I was being judged. But also I think a lot of it was that I didn't have any reason to use it because, my school was very small. And I kind of had enough-ish functional vision to navigate. So I didn't really have the use, I didn't think I needed the cane at the time. And I didn't really want to use it afterwards either because, I just felt like people were judging me for it. And, I didn't think I'd need it. And I think I was too cocky and arrogant at the time because I was like, well, I don't need it because I can just navigate everything. Mm-hmm. And then I think when I got into the real world, when I, started high school and stuff, obviously the place was a lot bigger. And even then I was still stubborn. I was like, nah, still don't want to use it. But I didn't want to use the cane, but I also wanted to learn my independence. Mm-hmm. And so the teachers and what do you call them? I think you guys call them orientation officers.
Yeah, O&M.
O&M.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They obviously realized that the only way, in their point of view, was if you started using the cane. So I guess you could say they essentially bribed me that, if I started using the cane, they'd teach me how to go out, in the street, out on the roads and stuff like that.
I was gonna let you do more.
Yeah. Opened up your door. Well, because what else would they? They weren't gonna send you out there with nothing.
Yeah,
no, they weren't.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, so I think that was
you wanted your
awesome.
independence, like you said, so that was intriguing to you.
Yeah,
right, for sure.
It was.
Yeah, even then I still wasn't. I still tried to avoid using it whenever no one was whenever the teachers weren't around or anything. I just try and use it, and then but I think I got caught out anyway. And then I think and this kind of sounds bad, but it goes back to what you were saying, Sayyida, in terms of when you do have the cane, it does show people that you people, you can jump queues and shit like that. But also I think I realized as well, I live in London, and so I use public transport a lot, and man, the underground has loads of escalators and things like that, and I just genuinely probably wouldn't be able to do it without the cane now. I think now I genuinely don't go out anywhere unless I have my cane, and it's very strange because back then I never wanted to use it, and I remember my kind of embarrassed as well, because I'd never every time I'd want to take it out and start using it, my mum would be like, okay, you need to take the cane out. And he'd be like, oh no, why are you going to bring that? And then I think one day when I didn't have my cane and my mum told him to guide me and I held his arm and he felt really awkward because it made me look like his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He decided that he felt really weird about it. But I'm used to it now, and I don't think I could go anywhere without it.
Yes.
But yeah.
For sure.
Thank you, Zenny. You guys, one time I left my cane on Metro, and oh my God, I thought my life was over. I was like, no, I need my cane. I cannot be without it. It's just such a part of
the funniest thing. I've had it where Metro came, and when you sitting there rushing, they at the door.
You just jump out.
I know my cane. Oh, where's my cane? Yeah, you just you almost panic because you can't really just go nowhere without the eye.
You can't. That's my eye.
Yeah, I refuse to leave without a cane.
Yeah, exactly.
I leave my cane in the bar, and I would go back to the bar the next day and say, "Hey, you left your cane."
Yeah.
So that was one thing. No one's going to steal the cane.
The cane, right? Your cane, your cane will still be there.
You can leave it at Macy's and go back and go, "Hey, bro, we got your cane."
Well, I don't know, but somebody says when we have gatherings with a bunch of blind people around,
that's different.
I swear, my cane always comes up missing.
I shouldn't say at a public place that canes aren't required.
Right,
At a party with blind people, you got a real cool new cane.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I don't even say it's maliciously stealing it. I'm just saying somebody feels it. It's hey, that's my, that's my cane. Well, how the hell do you know they all feel the same?
All of them got golf grips.
And if we're totally blind, I don't care if yours is green, red, or purple. They all feel the same. Right. So
that's why my cane's gone. Right?
Yeah,
that'll last me about 2 minutes when I grab somebody else's cane and realize it's only coming up to the bottom of my ribs.
I
don't think this is mine.
That'd be me as
Yeah,
well. I'd be
that-
like,
yeah.
hey, this at my belly button and my.
No, this
All right.
Not you. I was going to say, not you carrying Brea's cane. Not Brea's cane.
Like, real.
But I agree with Zenny, guys. And with that cane, I always used to say it's like Jesus parting the Red Sea. When people see me coming with that cane, it's like they make an automatic pathway. And it's just
Yes.
like, it's so cool to see. Now, don't get me wrong, because there are idiots and jerks that will still, that's when I just start whacking. I will whack you on purpose. Now,
I've had a lady snap my cane in a grocery store.
Not the
I was
whacker.
walking through the grocery store, and it just so
she would get
happened
whacked.
to just like come across the way she was going. And it whacked her, but she broke it and kept walking. And I'm just standing there like, what? And the workers came up to me like, man, I saw the whole thing. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, did she not stop? He's like, nah, she just kept walking. She don't. I was just like, my eyes, like, she just snapped my eye. Like, and it was my blue Cadillac. I was like, damn, like, wow.
Snapped it though. She was on a vision to actually
Right.
probably got hard
She
to
was
snap
on
it.
a hard
Like,
Must have been
wall.
getting a divorce or something.
And I think because, I also walk at a good little clip as well. So both probably our momentum, me swinging the cane.
let me tell y'all, when this man walks, you swear he can, like, do you think he
Hey,
can see or
that's that
something? He
confidence,
walks
baby. I got
so
that
fast.
swagger.
I'm like, and I'm just like, you can't see. You might want to slow down a little bit.
Got the
Because if you hit anything, it's going to hurt.
if you walk fast, you look like you know what you're doing. That's the way to go.
Right. Well, that way, until you hear.
Until you don't.
Even if you don't, right? Fake it till you make it. Even if you don't know, act like
that's
you
what
do.
I say. You slip, you stumble, but you don't fall. Welcome to the table, Patricia.
Hi,
Thank
Patricia.
you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
What you got
What are
for
you
us?
doing? It's so fun to listen to all the stories, and everybody has something similar.
Right.
I want to talk about a reverse shame because I got on a paratransit bus and there were already 3 people on the bus. And I sat down and I got a text, so I took out my phone and I'm listening to it. I had earbuds in, and somebody was going, "Isn't it illegal to pretend you're blind?"
Oh my God.
And I thought, well, they're not talking to me. And
No.
she raised her voice. And at the 3rd time, I said, "Excuse me, are you talking to me?" I was furious, but I tried to maintain and advocate. And she goes, "I thought it was illegal." And I go, "Why would my doctor refer me to an agency to get a cane and mobility training if I wasn't blind?" So I don't understand why you're asking the question. And she goes, "Well, you're using one of those big phones."
Oh, goodness.
And I go, "Oh yeah, this is an iPhone. I can't see the words on the screen." I said, "It talks to me." Well, I didn't hear it talking, so I took my earbud out.
Oh, now you had to prove it all.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to
not you wanted receipts
prove
and
yourself. Like,
What's
rude. I just wanted to shove it down her face.
right, yeah,
But
that's
I said
true.
it politely,
Right.
and I took my earbud out, and I had texted a friend and told her what was going on, and I played that text message, and it said, "Oh my gosh, some people are so rude." They think and
she shoved it out right.
That was
Good
great.
job. I know.
Perfect.
Great job.
Patricia. Yes.
it was somebody, the word she said was perfect. And she goes, "Oh," and when I touched the screen, I said, "Can you hear that?" And she said, "No." So I turned it up and started it all over.
you made sure she
you got
heard
your point
it.
across.
Right.
Yes. And, the bus driver dropped those other people off, And the bus driver goes, I was going to intervene, but she said, you did it so well. You were so intelligent. And
You were like a pro.
Like a nice young lady. And she said I would have probably yelled at her, but she said, you really got your point across. And she'll think twice about ever saying that again. And questioning the phone because I said technology is amazing for blind people, and that's how I can use this smartphone. And
that's a great story.
It is. And Patricia, kudos to you because you are so right. So many of us, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I know a few people in here that would react the same way that I would. I mean, would probably have an attitude with that person and be ready to like, what?
Y'all know me. The lion is coming out, so, Mean Joe Green.
And Patricia, it's just sometimes not everybody wants to educate and aware, all the time, every minute, right? But sometimes these people need that.
Yes, we do. And the bus driver, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The bus driver said, I know you probably couldn't see it. She was sitting catty-cornered across the aisle. And she goes, I know you probably couldn't see it, but when you started playing that text message, red came up from her neck all the way to
it was cherry.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
I know it is.
Not cherry.
You thoroughly embarrassed her.
Yes, I love
in her place. So that's why I called her reverse.
Hooray for you.
Yes. Thank
right.
you so much, Patricia. That was a great one.
That was good.
I'm going to share your story myself with others.
Nice.
So,
Man, that's going to help me in my next moment because I've have dealt with those situations, but I have not handled it.
That's called grace.
As gracefully as she did.
Yes,
that was nice.
But you guys, but funny, you guys, I love how Patricia, it was graceful, all right, but she threw a little dig in with that text message, didn't she?
Can you hear it?
Repeated it twice. I can't listen.
Need me to turn it up? I'll play
it. Let me go ahead and educate you, sweetheart. Let me educate you. Awesome. Thank you again, Patricia.
Ethan,
hi,
welcome
Ethan.
to the table.
Welcome to the table, Ethan.
How's it going? Good to see
Welcome,
you.
Ethan.
Ethan,
I wonder if you might be talking about me.
I'm sorry?
This is Jay Saquon. Sorry.
It's Jay.
Jay
Saquon.
Jay Saquon, how you doing? We do apologize, my man. Welcome to the table.
No, no problem.
My bad.
AKA Ethan.
Like, did you mean me? I'm not sure. Okay.
That's
You the man that's sitting down in the seat right now. What's going on?
Yes, it is
Go
on
for
you.
it, Jay Saquon.
Talk to us.
So, I have two cane-using fully blind parents, and I started using a cane when I was 4. So, I've been using a cane for 22 years. And yet, at the same time, it's interesting. I can't imagine going anywhere without my cane. I never really lose it anywhere. I very rarely don't take it into certain situations, but I do like to kind of, if I have a folding cane, fold it up and maybe put some sunglasses on. And it's interesting because people will sit next to me on the bus and they won't otherwise, or they'll actually start conversations with me. And it's like, I miss having that ability to just make friends easily. So sometimes I just put away the cane so they don't feel like they can't approach me. I don't think they do it out of malice. I think it's just that they're like, I'm going to leave him to his own devices. I'm going to leave him alone because I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. And so, you know, I'm obviously blind even without my cane because my eyes, I always keep them closed. Because they're not even, I don't even really have the muscle strength to open them anymore in my eyes. And they also look kind of sunken in. So it's pretty obvious, right?
Right. Yeah.
And yet it does make a difference. And I love having the white cane to, you know, identify that I'm blind because I hear so many visually impaired people saying, you know, they've gotten, you know, beat up even because people got mad at them for running into them, you know,
stepping on their shoes and stuff.
Yeah. And I consider myself lucky that I am blind enough to where I didn't have to go through 10 years of medical nonsense to try to prove that I'm blind, like some people do.
Yes.
I'm glad that I'm so blind that doctors take a look and they're like, yeah, you're still blind. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no changes. No
Yeah,
changes.
Give him the handy pack.
Yeah.
but it's
Give him the
funny though
parking
because
sticker. He's good.
I do put it away just to make conversation. It's sort of like how during the pandemic, a lot of people joined groups and even work things on Zoom. No one knew they were blind until they said so. If they didn't say so, you just get treated like a normal person.
Like a normal
Yeah, that's true.
person. Good point. That
It's
is
interesting.
So it is, and I can totally see that. You put the cane away. It's not like you have to walk around while you're sitting on the bus. So people will kind of approach you as if you're quote unquote normal person.
Yeah, and they're strangers. You don't have to to work with them in the future, so it's not like you're giving them a false promise and then confusing them later.
Yeah.
You probably won't see them again.
Right. Yeah.
It's
You know what
interesting.
else helps you with conversation? And I thought about it now because you were talking about putting up your cane and doing other things. Is when you read Braille and people see you do it, they ask you, what are you doing?
That's true.
You know? And that gives you a chance to talk about it. And they don't connect that you can't see. They just say, what are you doing?
Yeah, and
So
the
it's
cane
a
is
really
actually positive
interesting thing.
sometimes too, though, because sometimes you'll be navigating with it, and people will be amazed by it, and they'll talk to you.
Your children, especially. Now, children will.
Yeah, children are
they ready
truly
for you.
amazing. Yeah, they
The worst is when the kids are asking good questions, and their parents are like, shush, shush, shush. It's like,
Yeah.
Don't bother
Yeah.
him.
Nah, it's
they're not
okay.
gonna let you
It's definitely
associate me
okay.
with
I'm
that
saying,
thing.
you bother me more than she bothers
Yeah.
me.
You know, it's funny to me even mention parents. Like, even now, I'm gonna switch the topic. Even on the guide dog thing, like now the kids are more knowledgeable about guide dogs than parents are. Like,
Right.
I've had
heard
it
the
where,
kids say, he's
yeah, like no, mommy, you can't touch him. He's a working dog.
right.
They teach
I'm like,
yeah, that's
I'm like,
Yo,
do.
kids say that all the
Because
time.
they
Because
teach it in school.
differences. Yeah,
Yeah.
they teach
Yeah.
differences, so that comes up in
Diversity
school.
and stuff. Yeah.
it's
Awesome.
amazing.
That was so
Well, thank you
Well,
so
thank you,
much,
JC.
Yes, thank you,
yes,
JC.
for your input and your comments. That was very insightful as well.
Gabe Guzman,
Hi, Gabe. Welcome to the table.
what you got
Yes,
for us, my
hello.
man?
Hey,
Hello,
Gabe.
yes.
Hey, Gabe.
Gabe.
So first of all, I'm going to acknowledge the topic. Yes, cane shame is real. It happens.
Mhm.
I think we all go through it, especially those of us transitioning from low vision to less vision.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely is a thing that I feel we all go through it. I'm not sure if it ever 100% goes away. I feel.
Mhm.
Like, I feel you get really comfortable and, like, assured with the identity of blindness.
Okay.
But I think there always is a little bit, because you kind of feel like you're, like, as soon as you put that out, the treatment and the attitudes of people can change a little.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's like, you either you accept it, you learn to deal with it, and I think it also
Right.
teaches, I think in the long run, is how to really identify the people you actually want to interact with.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
yeah. And it's
Good point. Yeah.
Very good point.
Thank you. That what, Gabe, you're right, because I of course, I until you said this, I was like, no, I'm not ashamed of my cane. But there has
It
been
is
times when
situational.
I will be standing, like waiting for my metro, maybe in front of maybe a bar or something like that, guys. But I don't go to
Yeah.
bars. I don't go to bars. Okay.
right.
But like if I'm in front of a bar or something, and I'm just standing there and people are walking up and probably smiling at me, and I'm just smiling. But I would rather have my cane in my purse. I don't want.
I've put mine in my back pocket.
Yes. Okay. So it's not just
And
me.
have my
Okay.
shades on and been standing there.
Right. And you
cooling.
look like a normal person.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, oh, look at
Yeah.
that blind girl standing over there. No, it's more so like, hey, if you want to approach or say something, it's not because I'm blind. It's maybe because you want to talk to me or something, So great point, Gabe. and
That's interesting, Sayyida, that you say that, because there's been times that I'll be in certain spots and I have the cane out, and it crossed my mind that the cane makes me look like a target. As someone you can maybe mess with or rob or something like that. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm nobody's target, sir.
And I'm
Yes.
just like, right? And I'm
Good
just like, you know
one.
what? I don't want anybody thinking, oh, look, I can mess with that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I
Yes.
kind of want to put it away.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you.
Yeah. Which is
yeah,
the same thing.
exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. That's what I mean. I feel I feel as comfortable as like we get with our identities and with our capabilities, I still think there always is, once again, the attitude of people, the public, and where we're at. Because some places, it's a little more common in some areas and some places. And as I travel to different cities and experience different environments, different places where we're kind of more of a regular thing as opposed to not. As far as people interacting with the blindness community.
Yes.
It's a whole different scenario as I travel around in the places I've lived in, and it's really interesting how much that attitude changes the way we interact with the public.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And
that is such a good point.
Yeah, and our desire to be active within the community that we live in. So, yeah, it's that. Those are the other things I think about too, as I hear people talking about, the shame of the cane, and like the whole this whole thought process, and like, just all the things that I think about a lot of times when I'm out with my sighted friends, and But the one thing I will say is really cool is that, being memorable, and the fact that people will spy you. Even I've been out with my friends sometimes, and I didn't even know there's some other people had spotted me for like, hey, they're so excited to see me.
Yeah, remember you from last time, and
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
that's messed up.
So even though there's like negative connotations and things, there is some a lot of positives, and so. But I just felt like it was something to contribute and to talk about, and the scenarios and things. Maybe I'm not the only one that thinks about this in the back of my head, or just that I experience this.
No, and you're definitely not. You're not the only one. And not only that, you brought some stuff to me that I did not think about, because I don't know, just never came to my mind to think about. But with some of the things that you said made me sit here and I'm like, oh my God, that's true. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even, so that's why I love sharing these stories and sharing our thoughts and opinions, because there are things that may come up that others don't even think about. So.
No.
Thank you so much, Gabe, for sharing that. Do you guys think, I know, because Seth says we might have another hand raised, but I just want to ask really quick, do you guys think it's a difference between the white cane with men and women versus, like, for me, like, I know Randy said about the Target and stuff like that, but I know for women, that's a lot of times where I don't want my cane out because I'm afraid that somebody might rob me or try to steal from me. And whereas men may not be, is it the same for men too? I don't know. Is it a difference? Do you guys think that it's different between men and women?
With robbing people, I'm going to say, not that I'm an expert on robbing, because it sounded like that, right? I was
robbing.
Educate us.
Please drop it on the top.
I was waiting for some pointers how to rob somebody when you're blind.
Right.
While they're looking at your cane, reach into their pocket.
But no, so I do think so. Again, my girl, being visual, she tells you all these interesting cues. So she said, if I came into a room and I wanted to approach someone, whether I wanted to talk to them or rob them, she said, I wouldn't pick you. You look mean when you sit. Don't smile. You don't do anything. So that may have a lot to do with when you're out and you travel. If you look serious, people tend not to just come up to you like that.
I get that.
I'm screwed because I'm looking at the ground, so they're about to get me.
Well, they're gonna get you because you won't see them in
I'm constantly looking like I'm on security. So
and see if you got that look on your face, like, okay, I'll kill a nigga today. That's an issue. And she said that's a real thing when you have a serious look like that. It's a deterrent.
Yeah.
Now that's not to say that no one will do it because it could happen. But that is something. And I do think guys tend to get a break on stuff like that.
Right.
Women by default, whether they can see or not, are going to be more vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
So if you add blindness to it,
and a cane,
that's definitely going to, and a cane, that's the identifier. This in this situation that you're talking about could be a negative, right? Because now this is my mark. I can mark her as somebody to try, you know.
Well,
yeah, because I think with a guy, like, for example, at a bus stop, if, you know, riding a city bus, for me, like, I'm standing there with my cane in my hand, both double grip, like, I wish somebody would. Like,
right, and it looks like a weapon. It actually looks like, folded cane looks like nunchucks.
Yeah.
Exactly. But, you know, I'm holding mine straight out. I'm standing tall with my whole 6'4". You know, and I'm just waiting for the bus, and like,
right, and ain't nobody trying to wrestle with you. There you go.
But I think for a female,
grab you, you know.
I think for a female, she might sit down and put a cane up just because she don't want to identify that, you know.
Yeah,
so
because I don't want people to know that
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, and
When
it's funny, you guys.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say real quick, because it's funny, because my kids, but years ago when I first went blind and I was afraid, I made a comment like, oh, somebody's going to rob me. And my kids said, Mom, nobody's going to rob you. You're blind. Just pull your cane out. And I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like the perfect victim. They would definitely rob me. Like, why wouldn't they rob me? I'm
pulling my cane out. Oh, I'm going to stop.
Oh, pass me by, right?
Yeah,
No, I have just as much potential. I said, if they'll rob an old lady, they'll rob me. Stop it.
Now, your kids were correct. Back in our era, it was really frowned on to rob a disabled person or an old person, right? It's
no frowned on.
It was really frowned on. Like, now it's encouraged. Like, we're in a new era.
Yeah, don't go bragging about robbing the blind person.
Right, now they don't care. Right.
That was the challenge.
Everybody's up for grabs.
Rob the tap.
Right.
Rob the tap.
But really, in our neighborhood, if you rob someone that was older or disabled, they were going to beat your ass. You couldn't do that. Yeah, that was a thing.
No, that makes sense, though. But I mean, it's sad to say that it's more acceptable now. You could go brag about it. You could go brag about it. Yeah, I robbed this blind old man yesterday. Your friends are like, yeah, what'd you get? What'd you get? Yeah,
I caught that blind man slipping.
I got his cane.
Yeah.
I snuck up on his
Joseph
blind
in
man.
high school. When I was in high school, they wouldn't say that. I said, "Oh, you're a real tough guy. You beat up a blind guy." I said, Yeah, that used to be.
That comes back to the head up stuff that we talked about earlier. Like you want to kind of stand in such a way where you look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, keeping your head up. If you hear something going on, kind of look over that way. Like look like you're alert. You know, because people don't know how much vision you may or may not have.
Right, that's true. That is true.
So if you look like,
I don't know if you know karate or martial arts. There's all kinds of things.
You know, and those of us that have some size to us too, that helps because you know, just because we're blind, you don't want to get too much weight. Each of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
That is true. So basically, don't be looking like the scary little blind person over there with all timid.
Well, I can't
scared.
Look like you're ready to do something.
She said, "I can't help you."
No, you can look like the little blind person,
you got the dog.
you got some looks that will. I'm
Listen.
sure you got some looks that can kill, Brea. Please don't try to.
You know, when we talk about blind shaming and things like that, I never even think about it. Like myself, literally was ashamed of someone else having a cane with me. So Ronnie he has RP, and I've been with him since he's had really good vision, and now his vision is going bit by bit. So he's feeling the need to use a cane, and I get irritated with him. Probably more shameful because I'm like, dude, you're walking too slow.
Okay, so I am not even going to get on you, but no, that is not, you do not be with her on that one. That is not nice.
No, I'm saying I can understand where she's coming from with
that
her
is
thoughts.
Not nice.
Because it might not be, but I've also have thought that I've been through some things that I've thought that, you know, like, damn. But I wouldn't say it's shameful, but it's like, all right.
Just take my elbow.
Grab me. Yeah.
Not take my elbow. Not you sight a guide and him.
Right, no, exactly. And that's what they do. I'm like, because they just feel like because they're better at it, that like, just come on, let's go.
Just okay.
I got it. Let's go.
No, it's also for the social aspect, right? Because we kind of walk a little faster when we have our dog.
I was going to say, you're faster with the dog than a cane.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And so I'd want to talk to you, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to be, where the fuck are you?
Yeah. I'm talking, I can't hear. I was trying to say that,
we could have sex tonight.
That'll speed him up. Shit, you tell him that.
We won't miss that phrase.
No,
I don't care where we at.
At that point, he's like, here, let me grab your arm. Let me grab you.
Look, I'm going to slow down and just wait for you.
Extend it a little bit.
Hey, look, we can hear the Amtrak coming, and I'm going to hear that phrase.
Right?
The thing with walking with the dog that's tricky too, though, is the dog walks you around things. So if I'm trying to follow you, I might end up walking into that shit.
But the dog wasn't protecting me. He's protecting you. I'm in the back.
Yeah, but let me tell you though, because Ronnie and I went to the school last week, and I'm like, okay, I'm making conscious decision what shoes I'm going to wear, right? Isn't that crazy? I'm like, if I wear shoes that's really loud, follow me.
Oh my God.
Damn, she taking it all the way, boy. Look, if I make enough noise, he gonna keep up with it.
Not what shoes do I have that have bells on them?
I put on these stilettos.
Go down the wrong hallway, though, and that bad boy get the echoing everywhere. That's when you run to the wall.
It was noisy, and I'm like, you can hear me, right? And he's actually keeping up with me. I'm like, okay, good.
He's like, no, I hear you very well. And so does half the damn world.
Yeah, just don't get on some carpet. Then I'll
then it's quiet. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm horrible.
No, you are horrible.
I know Ronnie's down there if he wants to respond to the shade that was just
so just buy me more noisy shoes for Christmas.
We just gonna keep this walking flow normal.
Yes, we have Patricia on the stage again.
Patricia, welcome back to the table.
Welcome back to the table, Patricia.
Does she have a noisy pair of shoes or something? She
got some bells for us.
Put her bells on.
When I go out on paratransit, out shopping or going somewhere, I usually take a small wallet that'll fit in my pocket on my pants. That way I feel like even if they try to grab my bag and run, they don't have my card or
the important stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good point.
That's a good tip.
What I do, and I've never been robbed, luckily, knock on wood. But,
yes.
You have to be alert and be cautious. Look around, even though you might not be able to see. Then they might think you have some vision. I do have some vision, but I can't see very far at all. So.
But they don't have to know that, right?
They don't know that.
Yeah.
But to me, be safe. Don't wear a bunch of jewelry to show you got money to buy jewelry, and don't carry a designer purse when you're out and about.
Yeah.
Put a little wallet in your pocket.
Yeah,
I'm an experienced robber. Don't forget that.
I might be able to snatch off that time.
Not the blind pickpocket. Hi, Ian.
Ian, what's up?
Hello.
How are you?
Doing, sir?
I'm good.
Good.
Lay us on us, child.
So, let's see. What do we got here? It says, white cane shame. Is it real? Let's talk about it. So, yeah, definitely. When I first moved here, I was 8 years old, and I had enough vision to walk around, and I still do. And then they started to teach me how to use the cane, the white cane. And I've never used this where I'm from. It wasn't a thing before. Now it is. It's a huge thing now in the Philippines. But when I was growing up, it wasn't. So I was just like, oh, what the hell is this? As a kid, I saw and respected the function of it for completely blind people. So, but I was a kid, so I thought, I honestly, I thought I was above all that. I thought I have enough vision. I can do this. And then as I got older, middle school, high school, and into my college, I don't know. I just kind of saw the inconveniences of having to watch out so much. Because I'm low vision, and so I have to watch out more because it's hard when you think you can see enough, but you really can't.
That's a good,
You know,
that makes sense.
So I definitely use the cane a lot more now. Just because of convenience, in my perspective, it's just convenience. I don't have to pay as much attention to what to where I'm going because I have a cane.
And it gives you confidence, right? You have another level of confidence when you're walking with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's the misconception about people who still are kind of iffy about using it or maybe ashamed to use it. And maybe you're not so confident, but really it has the opposite effect. It actually makes you more confident because you just roll through.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Ian, so much.
Absolutely.
And that is absolutely true, that it does. And if those that are out there that are, like he said, or embarrassed or ashamed of your cane, don't be.
Just a process.
And get that training. You know what, too, guys? I think the O&M training has a lot to do with it.
Oh, yeah. I think
it does.
You know, and when you learn how to use it. I remember when I first went blind, my neighbor, I was losing my sight. She went to some medical store and went and bought me a cane, a white cane. And she's like, hey, you're going blind. The cane literally went right under my boobs, guys. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, but I didn't know that I was supposed to be taller. So I'm like, okay, I was trying to use it, but I look like a fool. So I'm like, I'm not going to even use that. So, but once I got the proper size cane, number one, but that O&M training, it just opened up a whole lot more for me. So definitely get O&M training, which, by the way, is free through state services for most states, I think. I'm pretty sure. Including a white cane. Now, it may take you forever to get the services, but they are out there.
But fight, young warrior.
You're right. I've been trying to, Lenovo's been trying to meet with people to help me learn the building because we're going back to work.
Yeah.
And man, it's been
it may take forever.
To get the people, because they're going to pay, contract or service. Because if we get new blind employees,
you got to do that. Yeah.
I'm the first blind employee at the company ever.
Right. Yeah. So you're breaking some barriers.
Right. And so they're like, well, we need to have this on file. Who can we call in North America to do X, Y, Z,
Yeah, it does. It sucks. It sucks that it does take so long. Yeah. But,
it's a good thing we didn't work there for 8 months.
Yeah, exactly. So I just would like to just turn it back over to our squad and make sure that if any of you guys have any parting words or final remarks. Yes, final remarks or anything.
I do.
What you got for us?
Yes, ma'am.
This is just something funny that I'm gonna leave y'all with. I named my cane.
Oh, what's her name?
I named my cane. He is a male.
Oh, you got you a man.
She got a stallion. Oh, boy. Holding that stick, girl. Okay.
I named my cane because he does what I tell him to do and doesn't talk back.
The best kind of cane ever.
I don't get no rebuttal. He does
not male at all.
It really sounds like a computer.
That is our dream mail. Okay,
she got Siri in her hand. Okay,
yes,
I hear you.
I named my cane, and because of that, it gave me more confidence to name my cane.
Yeah,
well, to say that, hey, I got control over this, and I'm gonna own this, so I'm gonna name him a him. I didn't name him a her, but a him that shows that I have control. That I'm on top. So,
do your thing, girl.
He does not talk back. He goes where I tell him to go, and he obeys.
Not the dog.
So what's
your cane's name?
Him.
Oh, him. You know, it's funny.
Him downstairs.
Him downstairs.
Him right here.
Him right here.
I wasn't going to name my cane, but after we get off this podcast, I'm going to name my cane Dream Girl.
Dream Girl. Okay,
Well,
there you go.
You know, Talana, it's interesting you say that. I also named my cane.
Oh,
And,
what's your cane's name?
My cane's name is Kanye because it kind of sounds
Kanye.
like Kanye. So his name is Kanye.
Oh my goodness,
loving
you're so sad. Thank you,
It's a good
guys.
thing they named the dogs at the school, Brad.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Yates do have nicknames, but
You know, John, you ain't lying because when I found out Chanel's dog's name was Bono, I was like, man, because that's my favorite band. I was like, man, if I had a dog, I'd want mine to be called Bono.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
My dog was Rudy.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there's a Rudy.
Rudy.
I had Clyde the Glide. That was my first one. I love that.
Oh, hey, not Clyde Drexler dog. Look
Yes,
at
sir.
that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
All right, guys.
Oh,
Mods. Y'all did a
man,
good
thank
job.
y'all so much once
Yes,
again.
you did. You guys were awesome.
Thank you to our
guys.
mom.
Well, thank you guys for having us.
Oh, for sure.
Yes,
That
yes.
was kind of fun.
We will be inviting you all back once you come to the table, and all of you. I'm so proud of all of you guys. Except for
Man, they
me.
did a wonderful job, right?
Nene Brea did not. Poor Ronnie. I feel bad for Ronnie.
Ah, man, hey, now,
I
Ronnie, all
provided a
right.
GPS.
He following something beautiful.
You did your good deed,
You
right?
gotta put a smart tag on him.
Yeah,
Hey, there you go.
right.
Hey,
Okay.
Say she leading them right. She leading them
Ronnie's
right.
living the dream of it.
Thank
telling
you. You know, and Brea, you know I'm playing with you. You know I love you. Thank you so much. You are awesome. I just want to thank you guys for sharing with us too.
Real
So,
talk. And
All right.
thank you for our listeners. Blind Table Talk is hosted by Sayyida Victoria and Joseph Fleeks, and also produced by Stephen C.
yes,
We
our
thank y'all
awesome
guys.
producer.
Yes, our awesome
This
producer.
is National
Thank
Breath
you guys.
Yes.
For sure, for sure. Until next time, we look forward to
Part
Thank
2.
you. Yep. Bye, everybody. Bye.